Hello, I'm Dina, and I work with Iowa Educational Services for the Blind and Visually Impaired. We often get questions regarding how best to help a child learn when there's a visual impairment. One of the best methods is the hand-under-hand technique, which allows the child the freedom to join you in learning without their hands being controlled by others. This is in contrast to the hand-over-hand technique, where a child's hands are being manipulated by another person. This grabbing of a child's hands and forcing the hand to be placed on things that have not been seen or explored often results in a lot of pulling back of the hands and refusals. It can be very scary for a child to have their hands manipulated and restricted by others. Hand underhand allows you an effective way to show the world to the child. This showing is very important because without vision, it's very difficult to learn how the world's put together, how it works together, along with all the different concepts of movement. Most people use their eyes for learning, which makes it much faster and much easier. In fact, 80% of a child's learning is through their eyes. Why is this important? Because the child with a visual impairment has peers in the same classroom who know a whole lot more about the world in general than they know, 80% more. That's a big gap in knowledge just because of a lack of vision. Learning through our vision system is called incidental learning. It happens without intention. An example, here in Iowa, we routinely see farmers plowing fields, even if we live in a large city. What picture just came to mind when I said you see farmers plowing fields? Did it look like this? Or did it look like this? Or maybe it looked like this. Each of you have likely seen all of these types of plowing, yet each is a different way of doing it. And you learned a lot about plowing without anyone intentionally teaching you. That's incidental learning, and that is what is missed by a child who is blind, visually impaired, or deafblind. Now let's talk about hands. Hands are our tools. We use them every day. We get clothes from the closet and we put them on. We put bread in the toaster and we spread butter and jam and we eat it. We communicate. We wave hello. We wave goodbye. We say, I don't know. Gestures communicate. Our hands are very important and effective tools. But to our children who are blind and visually impaired or deafblind, they are so much more than simple tools. Their eyes. They relay the texture, the temperature, the shape, the size of an object. Hands become ears. They relay sounds that objects make, especially when they're acted upon by hands. When we are around loud machines, we use ear protection so that our hearing will not be damaged. When we do things that may potentially cause objects to fly into our eyes, we use eye protection. We take very good care of our eyes and our ears. We need to respect hands that are also eyes and ears, treating them very carefully. And that is the core philosophy behind hand under hand. It centers on guidance of hand and not manipulation. Now, this picture is a good example of the process. The adult is introducing a Braille book to a child. The adult is sitting behind the student so that her hands are in the same position as the child's hands. The adult has her hands on the Braille, showing how to read Braille, while the child has his hand on top of the adult's hand. The child is free to remove his hand if things get a little scary for him, or to just watch the adult read, or he can slide his hand forward and feel the Braille and the adult's hands. The hands of the adult are not in control of the hands of the child. The adult's hands are demonstrating how to read Braille. Since the child is unable to use vision to see how this is done, we have to intentionally show them over and over and over again so they get the opportunity to learn what it looks like. And feeling it is how they learn what it looks like. Allowing this freedom of movement for the child lets the child focus on what's being explored instead of feeling physically controlled by others. Using hand under hand shows the child that their hands are always within their own control. It allows the adult to model and show the child new things while respecting the hands as eyes and ears. I had a student who received an award once, and so the next time we were together, he was excited to show it to me. He knew the concept of how people use vision, even though he was totally blind. So he held up the award and excitedly said, "Look what I got." And I responded with, "Yes, it's so nice. You did a great job." He said, "No, look at it." And he grabbed my hand and placed it on the award. Even though intellectually he knew that I could see with my eyes, he wanted me to experience seeing it with him in the same way that he sees it. Seeing things together is very powerful. Exploring an object together, sharing the experience, seeing together, those are very powerful things. So here's a couple of resources that might help you as you help model for a child. Hand Under Hand is an excellent way to build a good working relationship through our hands. You can always reach me at the contact information if you have any questions or want more information. Thank you for your time, and I hope you and the children you serve will enjoy learning together with this Hand Under Hand technique.